Hello, everybody. Welcome back to youtube.com/geekloud. It's 8 p.m.-ish Monday, so I'm here, Troy, with Steve on Discord. Steve, how are you?
Mate, I'm very, very, very well. It's Halo week, my friends, so I'm excited.
Oh, it's very exciting. I should explain to people, the studio was overheating today. There was few troubles, but so there's no camera, no studio lights. So instead today, you can see me there in a good VR setup. I apologize for that. Heating issues. Now, where do we go from here? The show starts with me explaining how it works. All right, we start off with game interrogation and deliberation. Steve and I will go over all the games we've been playing this week. Then we mosey on into the standoff. We put some of the best up against some of the other best and then pick a winner. What will it be this week? Stick around, find out. We round out the show with a look at the current news issues and then audience interrogation. If they've got any questions for us, if they want to run anything by us, that is when it will happen, right at the end. But for now, it is game interrogation and deliberation, if I can find the right button. There it is. Boom. First up this week, I should hit that one. It's Chorus, Steve. Chorus. Now, I'll let everyone know I've only played 10 minutes just to capture this footage. So, Steve, I'll hand it over to you for the full explanation.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I've played a little bit more than that. Actually, the only reason I knew about this game was because of our last episode where we went into games coming out this week, and this one sort of intrigued me, and I had a look at it, and I was like, oh, it looks kind of like Returnal in a spaceship. And it kind of is, but it's got a lot more sort of story to it. It's obviously not a roguelike kind of game, but it's got a lot more story based to it. So your traditional sort of flying around rogue squadron type game like Star Wars, but it's kind of like if they made a brand new Lilac Wars today, I feel like this would be it. And it's
which one, sorry?
Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64?
Oh, Star Fox, sorry, yes. Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah, Lilac Wars here in Australia, which is a weird name for it when the whole thing's got a fox that's in the stars. Why they changed it from Star Fox. Anyway, that's a different story for another day. But no, this game's absolutely beautiful and it plays so well, and I've been so surprised by it. Like even just the early stage you're playing now, like this is nothing on what the actual game does. If you go through and start playing some of the campaign missions, the abilities and stuff you unlock, the ship you unlock after this ship, the initial ship does so many more things than this one does. So this is just sort of your tutorial base to sort of get the handle of the normal mechanics, but then the mechanics that actually open up to you are just insane and so much fun to play around with. And the game for what is a $50, $60 game is absolutely stunning and looks better than most games that have come out this year, I reckon.
It does look and feel good. The thing just after this section, it sort of opens up into a world and you've got a destination, then you pass another ship and then she offers you a side mission. It's like an escort quest. The thing that struck me about this game is it feels like a third-person RPG almost, but you're in a ship. Like the feeling of wandering between towns and bumping into people and then doing escort quests. It's all so very RPG, but the main character's a ship. It's pretty unique like that.
Yeah, and you can like unlock upgrades for your ship and stuff as well. I won't sort of go into too many spoilers for the new ship that you get, but that new ship in itself is a character as well, called Forsaken. So like from her past, obviously, give an example, like to give you just sort of a rundown of the story is she's your main character, Nara. She's left this big sort of religious group who wants to bring sort of, it's a very similar storyline actually to the Guardians of the Galaxy game where you've got a big church-like group that are trying to rule the world. It's essentially the exact same thing. Think of that. And Nara herself has left this group, but her past has been left behind, and all the people she's dealing with sort of don't know that she destroyed worlds, and now she's sort of, has these church group sort of coming after her, and so that's where you find yourself in trying to sort of protect these new people. You're sort of like the rebels in Star Wars, you're the underdogs and stuff. So it's
very
really
Guardians,
good story. Yeah, so you got this really good sort of story, sort of backdrop to this. The only caveat is being a cheaper game, I think they didn't have the budget for a lot of sort of the facial animations and voice acting. So as you can see, a lot of the voice acting is done via those little screens where people are inside a square box and there's not much animation going on.
Yep.
That's just a small gripe. I mean, you're in a ship, so what are you going to do? So
yeah, very much so.
But just in terms of just the game itself, it's just so refreshing. It's something different that we've had, like to all these third-person shooters and action-adventure RPG games, just to be sort of flying around space and have really good mechanics. I'm loving my time with Chorus.
Yeah, it's really good. There was a moment here in this room. Now, I'm not saying at all that the whole game feels like, but there was a moment in this room where I felt like I was on the Death Star run. I sort of got down low and I was between, and then I like fed it up between. And so it feels the way you want it to feel. It feels very cinematic, if that makes sense.
It feels good. And then if you thought it was hard to track your enemies during this part, which I found it a little bit difficult to track enemies, you start getting different abilities. Like the new ship gives you the ability to drift, so you can you be coming up to someone, then hit a button and drift all the way around them. And it feels quite epic. And then you also get special abilities that you unlock as well. One of the early ones is a blink ability, where if you're sort of locked onto an enemy, you can press I think it's the B button, and she will blink behind them directly. So you have so you just line them up from behind. And it's just good fun mechanics, and you get from what I've heard, there's about 30 different enemy types throughout this game. You're not fighting the same things over and over again. They all have different ways you can defeat them. And later on there's a boss that's throwing like mines at you, and you've got to use your drift ability to get behind him to actually shoot him, but you've got to use your laser ability to drop his shields first before you can kill him. There's just a lot of mechanics.
Wow. And I'm not even up there yet, man. But
you're not.
What you've just said, like the switching between weapon types, how is that handled? Is that like a what do you call it, D-pad button?
It's D-pad button. So you can see bottom left-hand corner there. At the moment, all you've got is the up on your D-pad, which is the thing. I think left is laser, and there's obviously something else coming up which I haven't unlocked yet, which will be right on the D-pad. So I think down you eventually get like a self-generating healing ability as well. Nice. So you can get this drone, which sort of it's on a recharge. So that was my gripe at the start. I'm like, God, I've got to kill these enemies, and I'm almost dying, and then I die. But occasionally, an enemy will drop like a health sort of thing that you can fly through that will increase your health. But once you've got that regenerating ability, it sort of helps you out, and you can sort of tactically disengage for a bit, do a couple of barrel rolls, as Slippy would say, and get yourself out of a hot mess. But no, just look at your footage here. I'm just like, this is so early on. This is the first biome, we'll call it, but you go to apparently other galaxies in the game as well with different enemy types. So I just can't wait to keep playing this game. It's just taken me by surprise this late in the year.
Yeah, it certainly looks great, but as you've just said, man, it's late in the year, and there's a few more GOTY contenders that I've got to play, I think, before our big conversation in a few weeks.
There really is. And speaking of Game of the Year contenders, what's next on our list of games we've been playing this week,
next
Troy?
up, you know what it is, everyone. It's Halo. Steve has been playing more Halo. I myself didn't pick it up this week, Steve, but what can you tell us?
Oh, mate, I'm still like I jump onto games, and I think I sent you a message this week to first game back, and I was actually it was a Capture the Zone, whatever that's called. It's the name of it. I'm forgetting at the moment, but
not Hardpoint. Yeah. Hardpoint's in Call of Duty.
Similar to that. Where I feel like it starts with S, but I could be wrong. But anyway, I had one game of that, and our team was just absolutely dominating, mainly because of me. I had the most kills, least deaths, and the most captures in the game. And I was like, I find it hard though when I play Halo and actually have a good game at the start, because I kind of just want to bounce and leave it on that, because I know if I play some games where I play terrible.
It might be a good idea.
So I'm like, no, that's it. I'm done for the day. Whereas if I have a bad game, I'm chasing the win, so I'll play it longer. Whereas if I have that first game straight up, I'm like, yep, I'm done. I'm out. All those players think Ipov's an absolute genius at Halo. They go off, oh, who was that guy? And I'm just mysterious. But no, I love it. The Fiesta finished last week, so there's none of the more Fiesta, so I can't upgrade that Battle Pass at the moment anymore. But
did you get all the bits you wanted off that Battle Pass before it disappeared?
Yeah, I did. So I managed to get the Spartan. Also, the Spartan. What's it called? The Samurai Spartan armor. So I managed to unlock that. I don't really care if I haven't unlocked shoulder pieces and leg pieces and stuff like that. I've got the main core of the armor, which is what I set out to do. So. I don't feel like I've missed out on too much. I'm just sort of fingers crossed on release this week we get a few more modes. I'd love to be able to select Team Slayer as a mode. I'd love to be able to go back and play SWAT mode, which is I think it's the headshots. Headshots only with the battle rifles and one shot, one kill mode, which everyone loves. And there's is it Infestation, where once you die you become like a flood zombie.
I haven't even seen that mode. I've got no idea.
Yeah, I think it's a staple of Halo where you sort of last man standing kind of thing, where everyone just once you die you become like a zombie kind of thing with an elite sword running around, and it's the last man to survive as a
right.
as a Spartan. So there's a few modes there I think people are clamoring for, and there's a story later on which we'll talk about, which there's a few angry people floating around. But as far as I'm concerned, this game is still in beta. The game wasn't supposed to be out yet, so I don't know why anyone's up in arms about it. You could be not playing Halo at all. So
totally.
As far as I'm concerned, put your dummy in your mouth and shut up.
I love it.
No, still on my time with Halo. Cannot wait for the campaign. We were going live today, the reviews have just gone up. I had a quick squiz. IGN's giving it a 9 at the moment.
That's on par for them for the year.
Yeah, well, I mean, they gave Deathloop a 10, so we'll have to wait and see. But
if this turns out to be worse than Deathloop, it's in all sorts of trouble.
No, that's right. But all the stuff I've seen, I think I'm going to enjoy this game way more than Deathloop. Anyway, 9, as far as I'm concerned, can still, for me, potentially give this game of the year. So it's taking on Returnal, but we'll see.
We will. Do you know, Steve, is the campaign, and I apologize if I've asked this previously, do you know if the campaign of Halo Infinite is co-op?
It's not yet. It's coming. So campaign co-op is, I think, May, or it might be March or May next year when the season 2 drops.
Yes.
They pushed it back. I think it's March.
Okay, so we won't do that then before Game of the Year discussions. I will have to play through it on my own.
You will have to play through it on your own, unfortunately, but hopefully you'll be able to. I'm just keen to see where the story goes. Just briefly looking at the IGN thing, they were like, the story didn't pan out too well for newcomers or veterans alike, but I suppose reviews and people's opinions are subjective.
Indeed.
So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm more in it for the sandbox and the fun of the gameplay, which we actually went back and played some Halo Collector's Edition today, just dropping on the Halo level, and I was just getting myself pumped for the release of Infinite. But I couldn't be happy that Halo's out this week, and let's go.
It's very exciting. Now, are you jumping straight into that campaign as soon as it's available?
Oh, yeah. We're looking, but the problem is, I know release day is Wednesday, the 8th, but I think being a worldwide release on the timelines and stuff,
for us, yeah.
No, I think we're a 7 p.m. launch on the 8th.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that doesn't sort of fall in line generally with it, because generally we fall the day later. But as far as I know, it's still coming out on the 7th. At 7 p.m. And I'm not sure what EB Games and stuff are going to do, and retailers will do, because the game effectively has been marketed as releasing on the 8th. So potentially you could probably pick up a hard copy earlier than that. But I'm feeling like the digital Xbox Game Pass and stuff releases the game, you probably won't be able to unlock it till 7 p.m., which is kind of a shame.
Well, I was just about to say, Steve, on that point, even if you bought it physically, the way that the game runs through that main menu now, they could totally keep you locked out of a physical game as well, because you see it there. Absolutely. It boots up to the main menu and then it speaks to the server before it lets you in.
Nah, you're right.
They can totally, EB Games or whatever could be selling it today. And I'm pure supposition. I have read nothing, but they could totally lock you out turnkey from server side, even from a physical copy, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. So, we won't see. I mean, I can wait. I've made sure I'm working the day, so I'll be home when it releases and I can play it that night. I'm not working till the afternoon the next day, so I should have hopefully the whole morning of Thursday to play well.
And
I'll have some impressions.
Do you have to clean anything off your plate before then? Is there something you're sort of coming to the end of and you've got to rapidly finish?
I don't think there's anything at the moment. All I'm really sort of doing is bouncing between Halo multiplayer and still playing a bit of Cyberpunk, so there's nothing I really have to polish off. I have finished Cyberpunk, so I'm just doing all the side content, which, on a side note, has actually been rather fun. So I look forward to the next-gen update for that game early next year. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how good it looks when they fire it up. I'm keen for that one.
Oh, mate, I can't wait, especially on the new telly.
Oh, yes, that new telly. We've got to talk about that new telly. But before we do, let me talk about Call of Duty. This is the Call of Duty Vanguard. If people remember from last week, my plan is just to play one mission a week because it's a short game. So I'm just stretching it out a bit. Now, what you're looking at here footage-wise is sort of the end of that second mission. I think I was about 40 minutes on the clock at this point. I'm going to say, Steve, this game is brilliant. I don't know whether I've been playing Call of Duty wrong for all these years, but playing one mission a week, which, and I'm deliberately taking my time, but it's about, 40, 50 minutes for one mission. I think you could probably, A to B it in about 20 minutes, but if you just draw it out and enjoy it, it's a really enjoyable experience, man. Like, I'm impressed with the scope of the missions, and it keeps it fresh enough. Like, normally you just burn through that content and you're like, okay, I'm in World War I or II or whatever, and then, you spend whatever it is that year, 10 to 20 hours, in the campaign, and then you move on. But just spending, 50 minutes a week, say, with Call of Duty has been a really enjoyable way to play it. So I'm still rendering no verdict because obviously I'm just under 2 hours into the campaign. But I've got to say, it's the most fun I've had in their campaign in a long time. They are doing a lot of crazy new stuff. And a lot of that, if you just saw it, I know you're a bit behind, Steve, but a lot of jump scares in the campaign, more than usual.
Now, I wanted to, are you onto a second character yet, or are you still the same character you were in the last? Okay, so different character, same character.
No, brand new character for Mission 2, and when I finished Mission 2, it rolled into a bunch of cutscenes for 3, but I bounced out, so I don't know is the short answer for 3. Cool. But 1 and 2 were unique characters, and there's no real personality in the game, but I don't think they were going for it. Instead, there's a lot of conversations and radio chatter always talking about the scope. The whole time you're playing the game, they are reminding you that it's an entire war effort. Whereas Call of Duties in the past have always been very much, this is happening, then this is happening, then this is happening.
No, that's right.
And that's it. Whereas they've, through radio chatter and, just teammates throughout the missions, they've really been able to broaden the feel of the battle, if that makes sense. Like the mental image they draw is a lot vaster, and in a way it reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy, the way we were saying about how they were taking HUD elements off the screen and replacing it with banter. Well, now they're kind of really flavoring the narrative through that banter. Like, this is sort of, it's not a step up, it's a different step, I suppose, but in a similar direction to Guardians. Like, and I wonder how much of that is due to the power of these new systems. Like, insofar as when they're designing it, they're imagining they've got more resources to deal with. So the artists, the creatives, are creating newer experiences. But this game is it's really impressive, really blowing me away. And the other thing I'll note, back to the multiplayer, I have played a bit of multiplayer, and it's really enjoyable, man. I've really enjoyed Call of Duty this week. Played one mission, played maybe 3-4 hours online, but it was my week for Call of Duty Vanguard, I reckon.
Good. Now, I've heard each character has a special ability. Is that correct?
Oh gosh! Now are you talking about the multiplayer? In multiplayer, yes. But
campaign. I've heard each one has their own, so not so much power, but a gimmick that they both have different to each other. Is that correct?
Well, I'm trying to think now. I think it was a new mechanic in level 2. I don't think it was in level 1, where you could order your squad. This whole mission, you're very much getting your squad to, suppress this guy, and then you can advance down the left flank on the battlefield, for example. But it's you driving that. You could tell them to suppress, left, middle, or right. You can sort of. It's a little bit thatty, but I think that may have been unique to that mission, because on the mission before, no, I'm positive on mission 1 there was none of that. So maybe if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, so if it sticks to what it's doing now, even if it's a short campaign, do you reckon, I did ask this last week, do you reckon it's worthy of price of admission alone on the campaign? If it keeps going like this, is it worth picking up for the campaign, just in terms of, even if it is short, is the gameplay sort of satisfying and worth it, the story, etc.?
It totally is, man, but I see no reason to recommend to rush out and get it now. You could totally wait 6 months, pick it up for $20, and then enjoy the single player campaign.
Oh, mate, I plan on waiting till I come and see you, and I'm going to grab it off you for free.
You're straight in with a free copy. But for the viewers out there, it's a very enjoyable campaign when you get to it, but I see no reason to rush out and get to this campaign now. But when you do get to it, you're in for a treat. My advice, take it slow. It's quality.
I will. I think I'll be doing the same with Halo campaign. I'm going to chuck Halo campaign up on a heroic difficulty, which I normally do with my first playthrough because I want to make that sort of experience last.
Are you concerned about spoilers?
Oh, I'm a bit concerned. I try and stay clear. Sort of, it's hard to stay clear of full spoilers when it comes to YouTube, and sometimes just these, people just put something on their thumbnail that's just straight up a spoiler,
yes,
which can be annoying. So I'll try and stay clear of that. I don't look too much into it, so I don't think I'll be spoiled too much, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it might be worth playing it on normal difficulty quickly through the campaign so you can experience without spoilers and then go back for that hard playthrough.
No, that's probably true because I probably will. I reckon we will probably maybe play co-op campaign when it comes out.
So I would love to, absolutely.
Harder difficulty for that because I really enjoy, like Halo is some of the best co-op campaign stuff you can do.
Well, the games always get harder when you add me as a second player.
That is true. I've got to lift. There's more enemies and I've got to do more lifting.
Perfect. Well,
as long as there's no platforming parts in Halo now. Although you do have you've got a grapple hook, so I think we're stuffed.
Oh my goodness! Yep, grapple hooks and me, they go well.
Look at your footage here. Actually, this does look actually quite fun to play, so I think I might have to give it a go.
It is, even though this sounds terrible, but even though the characters don't really have a personality, the story, just the vastness of the battlefield, again, they've done it so well, it kind of doesn't matter that you don't have a personality as the character because the war is kind of the character that they're exploring in the game.
It's generally in a war, that's generally what it is. Like, you have that many people that run around, like you could die any minute. So I don't mind you not having a strong character. Yeah. Apparently, I think pretty sure they're all based off real life people who were in the war as well. So
that's exactly,
which is weird. Weird to think they've got all these people based on real people, but they don't really have a character. So
are all their families getting likeness like royalties? Who knows? Now,
who knows?
Then the other one I've been playing, game 4 for me this week was Battlefield 2042. That's right, I'm still playing it, but notice key in this footage, I've worked out to grind out those trophies, play it in single player mode with dumb AI bots.
Wow, you can grind trophies just in single player mode.
So there's a trophy for getting 7 kills in one life with this special operator shield, as you can see there. And to do it on a real game, you would have to be some kind of, young genius, I think. But
so me,
yeah, you could probably give it a crack, mate. But I'm never going to get there with the online on.
You forget that I got 11 kills in a row in Halo last week.
Look out! So that's fun, but it does at the same time. When you do that, it really does highlight the brokenness of the game. Oh, the other big one I've got to tell you, Steve. I said last week and believed there was no scoreboard in this game. As it turns out, for every other game, you hit pause, you see the scoreboard. In Battlefield 2042, you hit pause and you just see the, quit game, leave squads, whatever. But if you're on that screen and then you again push and hold pause, the scoreboard comes up, but it's only while you're holding start. So you've got to hit start and then push and hold start again to get the scoreboard up. So it was hidden from me.
So what you're saying is the Battlefield hides everything. Like they hide their progression.
Yep.
and they hide their scoring systems.
Yes, it's so many bizarre choices. It'd be like an open world, a third-person action game, open world, not having enter-exit vehicle as triangle. Like it'd be to not hit pause and see the scoreboard. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's just strange choice.
Like they've totally broken convention, but given no justification for it.
Now, the fact that you're doing this with bots, does this mean you're done with the actual competitive multiplayer part of Battlefield? You're going to start moving into Halo, and you said you were having fun with Call of Duty now. So where does that leave Battlefield?
Yeah, mate, I am really at the end of my time with the current maps on Battlefield. I've put in a lot of hours already. Don't think that the game is short. Think instead that I've already put in my time with it, and I am keen to get back into it more. But I honestly think I'm pretty much at the end now. I might grind out 1 or 2 trophies very much in the fashion you're seeing now. And then in a couple of months, I don't know, I haven't looked, but whenever they drop their DLC, 3 months or whatever, I'm sure I'll come back to it then. And hopefully there's a bigger online presence, because I've still had connection issues this week waiting for a game. And it was actually that waiting for a game that made me check out this offline bots mode.
Gotcha. Now, is this your footage I'm watching?
Yes, you are watching me.
Because I just saw something pretty epic. That was you flying an aeroplane and then jumping out of it and then parachuting into it and just destroying, I'm assuming, what, bots with your shield. But it's still pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, this game is all kinds of fun. There is fun there. They just need to tidy it up. Like, stop breaking the convention of pushing and holding pause to see the scoreboard. That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
I can still see your field of view set at 1,000 as well.
Oh, yeah, mate. All my online multiplayer games moving forward, I reckon I'm just going to max out that field of view. I'm really getting used to it, and I'm really getting into it.
We'll just call you Fish-Eyed Troy from now on.
Well, I was thinking about it, man. This is a pretty weird thought, but go with me. Imagine, however many years down the road, 2077, when Cyberpunk is here, imagine when you've got the option to actually rack the field of view in your human eyes, if you know what I mean. Well, they wouldn't be human anymore.
Yeah.
But imagine if you could do that to your own vision, like just walking around and suddenly all my house is bent.
You do it in a heartbeat.
Well,
stop the wife sneaking up on you.
Yeah, I've got like a good, I don't know, maybe 50 hours under my belt of various games on max FOV setting at this point. I'm getting my sea legs.
Oh, mate, you'll be set, mate. Everyone else will be wandering around not knowing where anything is. You'll be streets ahead of the game.
People will be tripping over stuff. I'll be vaulting and shooting people in the face. Oh, where'd that guy come from?
Damn straight.
Anyway, so Battlefield, heck of a lot of fun. If you want to grind out those trophies, do it in the offline mode. If you're going to play it online and haven't picked it up yet, I'd probably hold off for another 3 months, wait for that DLC drop. Great game, but once again, no urgent rush to get your hands on it.
That's right. There is a news story coming up later about Battlefield as well, which I think, will please a few people.
Very good. And then the next note from me, this one's hot off the press. This was me just today. I unintentionally, Steve, got back into Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Please explain unintentionally.
So I accidentally booted it this morning. I turned it on. I put the Call of Duty disc in. And then I got a bit distracted. I came back and I turned around, did something, I came back, and I just happened to have booted Kenna, intending to go for Call of Duty. But fired it up. And then I thought, well, I'm here anyway. I might as well start playing. And 2 hours later, I think, and now I need to verify this with you, but I think I might be at the end boss. I've unlocked like 2 animals, the 3 masks or whatever for the 2 animals.
Yep.
And then I've gone to like the final center tower. There was something with a hammer, and then I was in a boss fight. And I want to say it was like
look at this footage now. I think this is towards the end. Yep. You are up to the last boss. Are you walking into like a giant sort of big room with snow and stuff?
Snow. I'm not sure about the snow.
You seen snow yet? No, I still think you're close. Looking at your footage now, I think you're close.
I'm not sure. Anyway, but I played this whole game in spits and spurts, like 20-minute segments up until today when I just sat down and dropped 2 hours into it and damn near cleared it, I think. But this game, I know we've said it before, I want to say it again, looks so gosh darn good. This game.
How pretty is it? It's so pretty.
So pretty.
This is like picking up a Pixar movie or DreamWorks movie and just playing it.
It really is. I was able to completely lose myself in this world today. Like, those 2 hours passed like it was 5 minutes. It was crazy. It was really crazy.
And the mechanics are so good. The slow down motion. Like I sort of had, like you had massive breaks between playing it, but as soon as I started playing, I picked up the controls. I knew what I was doing again. Granted, I've been playing games for a long time, and a lot of similar games use similar button configurations and stuff. But it's just so fluid to play, and like once you chuck it on easy, and you're not wanting to throw your controller through a window or at your TV due to the actual difficulty of this cute game that should be easy that's not. It's bloody, mate. This game's harder than Returnal. I'm calling it. If you put this thing on,
get out of here.
Mate, if you put this game on normal difficulty, I guarantee you, I'm not finishing any of like these late game bosses at all. Whereas I could finish, I've platinumed Returnal, so I'm saying Kena Bridge of Spirits, mark my words, is harder than Returnal.
Absolutely ridiculous, Steve, but I love it. Go for it, mate. I'm thoroughly enjoying my time with it. As I said, I'm up to what I believe is the end boss. So presumably, come this time next week, I'll actually be ready for a full verdict on the story. But I absolutely love it. It's a great game. Definitely get hold of it. Now, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is coming to Xbox soonish, is it not?
Oh, I haven't heard that. I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive.
I believe it was 6 or 12 months timed exclusive. I feel like I could be making this up, people, but I feel like that story happened a few days ago.
Oh, well, I have not read that, but it doesn't mean it's not true. All I do know is, Troy, I did defeat the last boss in one go, so no pressure, sir.
Well, I already died to him once and then turned it off and went, I'm pretty sure that's the last boss. And I think I'd maybe chinked 1% off his health when he absolutely destroyed me.
Did he steal your little dudes off you?
Oh, I don't know, man. There was a lot of flashing
guys.
Well, I was still able to do like my rot shot and stuff, so I guess not.
Oh, then maybe not, because the last boss, I'm not sure if there's different phases, but I know he definitely takes the rot off you. So what a weird, again, I'm going to point this out, what a weird name for cute little creatures, the rot.
Yeah, it is an odd choice.
It's an odd choice.
It's an odd choice, but they're unique, and I wish I had the footage to show you this week, but I do have a navigation suggestion for something else they could be doing with the rot. But unfortunately, I
feel like that might be Kena Bridge of Spirits 2. I think this game will get a sequel, and I think your suggestion for navigation will probably come to fruition.
That would be very cool, obviously. But 2 big thumbs up from me, and this is one that I would say if you've got a PS5, this is worth playing this year. I know the last couple of games have been saying
this is a must buy.
If you
really love your action adventure games and any genre really, like action adventure, if you like Pixar movies, if you like RPGs, if you just want a damn good game with really good mechanics, like pick this game up. Like you won't be disappointed at all.
And it's also, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, I would say it was very child friendly. But I think you and I sometimes have different views.
No, absolutely. No, it is child-friendly. Like, obviously, there's some themes in it that it got quite dark in terms of death and stuff. But if you're a kid, you're not really probably going to pick up on those themes at all. You just see the cute characters and the rot and all the masks and crazy hats they wear and stuff. So, but because you obviously are trying to help people pass to the next life and all that kind of stuff. But, absolutely kid-friendly. Not violent at all. And, I can't recommend this game enough. This is probably sitting in my maybe top 10, maybe top 5 for the year.
It is a brilliant game, man. It's high praise, but well earned. I'm a big fan of this. Anyone out there who hasn't played it, like I would say, if you have a PlayStation 5, go out and buy it now and start playing it immediately.
Absolutely. And what's crazy? This is an indie game developed by a very small group. 12, they've never 12 people, is it?
Yeah, group of 12.
And this is their first game they've ever made. All they've done is CGI. They've created that. I think the Majora's Mask CGI short movie video thing is all they've done, and this is their first game. God, I can't wait to see what these guys do in the future.
Yeah, it's such a good game, and so if it comes to your platform soon, definitely play it. It's a must play, and promptly there at it, I would suggest.
That's it.
What I will move on now to, it's something that you obviously didn't have to play promptly, but this is Forza Horizon 4, not 5 that just came out. This is Forza Horizon 4, and the reason I went back into this one recently is currently on sale is all the DLC for that game. So I think you can pick up for, I want to say it was $27. You can pick up, I think it's called the Ultimate Add-on Bundle. And it's like the car pass and 3 major bits of DLC, I want to say, for Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So for $27, the game, you're sort of doubling almost the amount of Forza Horizon 4 there. And it's brilliant. I'd never seen this Halo mission. I didn't even know there was a Halo mission in the game.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's if memory serves, it's got the music and stuff as well, doesn't it?
It's got the music in it. They've got all the ghosts fly overhead.
That's right.
You're getting swooped, and there's shields in it. The whole thing from start to finish, it's like a little love note to Halo, and it just fits in beautifully. If you've gotten into Halo Infinite recently, and also Forza recently, i.e. if you're an Xbox owner with Game Pass, it's worth going back into that Game Pass library and digging out Forza Horizon 4 just for this Halo mission. It's so good.
This is just Forza making love to Halo. This is what you get.
Beautiful.
This is the byproduct. It's beautiful.
Now, Steve, I take it you've been able to see footage of me racing since the story started. I know you're on a delay.
Yep.
Now, do you notice any difference in my driving this evening other than the fact that it's a Warthog and I'm on a Halo ring?
It feels like it's a little bit more like you might be using a steering wheel.
You've nailed that, Steve. This footage has all been captured with a steering wheel. I've finally acquired a proper metal frame for it, so it doesn't run away from. Previously, I was attaching it to ironing boards and side tables and chairs and all sorts of things, but nothing ever really worked. So it was a fun little distraction, but not something you could ever really sink your teeth into. But now that I've got a proper frame for it, man, it is phenomenal. I'm absolutely loving it.
Found it good?
It's so good. Like, now this is a half step insofar as it's full steering, but I've still got what's the assist that I'm I'm blanking on the assist name that I've left.
Lane, is it lane assist or something?
Oh no, it's I had it listed. There's an assist. Oh, I'm blanking on the name for it. It might just be called. It's not steering assist though. There's an assist there.
Oh no, it's literally on the tip of my tongue now as well. I know what you're talking about.
So I
can't get it.
So I leave that on, and it's an auto gearbox currently, but I do have the steering wheel with the clutch and the pedal. Where I want to get to is simulation, all assists off, and a clutch. But
driver assist.
Thank you, Steve. You've nailed that. Driver assist. So I've still got driver assist on, but ultimately I wanted to get to like full simulation mode and just have no assists. And I've turned it into that mode, and it's crazy. Like, I'm just crashing constantly. I'm nowhere near the skill level required, but I'll get there. It's fun. And wait, one final tip before I forget to make it. The real reason that this has become a passion of mine at this stage is my old man hands after all these shooters are getting real bad. And holding onto a steering wheel is obviously a different hand feel. Like, it doesn't hurt my hands at all. So I can drive for hours. It's time for me to mature my controlling into Forza so I don't get old man hands.
I love it. Now, question. You've been playing a bit of Forza 5. How does Forza 4 look and feel and run compared to Forza 5? Does it run in 60 frames?
It's optimized. Forza 4, Horizon 4, is also optimized for the Xbox Series X and S, and I can't see a difference cutting between them. So it it just feels like a content switch and continent switch, I guess you can say. Forza 4 is England, Scotland, and then Forza 5 is Mexico. Yeah. So it really, other than the location, I don't know of any differences. There might be some minor tweak, but the look and the feel, to me, it's the same game.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, that's good. I mean, Forza Horizon's been around for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And I actually prefer this sort of franchise over their standalone Forza games, which I think we've got Forza, 7 in development?
No, 7's out. So 8 must be.
7's out. So 8 must next one. So, but I don't know. I don't feel like I need to play Forza 7 because I think I prefer the fun of Forza Horizon at the moment. I don't need a serious race. You got Gran Turismo 7, I want to say, coming out.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were going for the last one. I think the last one was GT Sport.
Yeah, so whatever the new one is, you got that coming out if you want a sort of real racer. But I mean, Forza's probably going to be up there as well as a decent sort of sim racer. But I mean, I've never really been a sim racer fan, so this kind of game for me is probably where it's at when it comes to racing games.
I tell you, Steve, you put Forza Horizon 4 into fully simulation mode from a steering wheel input standpoint. It is Forza at that point. Like, it is just a straight up car racing simulator.
Oh, well, that is good, I suppose, except you don't have, the Covenant floating in the air above you. And
well, that's true, but I mean, from a feel standpoint, it feels the same. Like
mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's all just in the menus. It's like in the menus, you can either take it from arcadey Forza Horizon to legitimate sim in Forza, but it's all under the one hood. Like, Oh, such a package. I can't praise it highly enough, clearly, but I'm all about it.
I got into it back in Forza Horizon 3 when they went to Australia. That was sort of where I sort of dipped my toes in Horizon probably for the first time, and I fell in love with the franchise then. So, but just I'm still loving Forza Horizon 5, and I had it on today, and I'd unlocked a new Porsche 911 that I got from a barn find, and oh, dude, just so pretty. So pretty.
It's brilliant. Oh, the other thing I should say.
I was going to say, sorry, I took your cue from last week and did the full Xbox reboot and then uploaded Forza again just to see what it looked like.
The results?
It makes a difference.
How much of a difference does it make? Isn't that wild?
My God, yeah, I didn't expect it, and yep, you were right. It definitely the foliage and stuff. There's so much more foliage.
Yes, yes, it's RAM. It suddenly finds it's got more RAM, and I'll make more screen assets. Here you go.
That's right.
All right. So as we were just talking about, that steering wheel controller is wild, but it did make me take a trip down memory lane, Steve. It made me think about the controllers of yesteryear that were a bit obscure, a bit non-traditional.
That sounds like it might be good for a standoff.
The wrong button. It's chaos. It was such a beautiful setup. And then I pressed the total wrong button and lost it. I've lost it. I honestly cannot even find my stand-up button. Here it is, the stand.
Who will fight?
Who will fight? Sorry about that, everyone. Wow, what an evening. Okay, so it forced me to look up, Steve, the old controllers, what's going on. So I thought I'd do a bit of Googling around, and I found on thegamer.com this fantastic article, and I thought this was a perfect use of the standoff. It's according to thegamer.com, and their article titled, The 10 of the Weirdest Video Game Controllers. And it's really quite phenomenal when we get down there. The first one they've got is the Sega fishing rod. Now, I didn't even know there was a Sega fishing rod. You can see there the Dreamcast icon on it. Steve, did you ever own a Dreamcast yourself?
I didn't own a Dreamcast. My first console was the Nintendo 64, and again, those controllers quite weird of themselves in and of themselves. But
indeed,
no, I can't say I owned a Dreamcast, nor did I even know this thing existed until right now. So. Yeah, what a strange controller. I'm sure people enjoyed it.
Oh, yes. Well, I wonder if it's my assumption just off looking at it is I don't know if you ever got into what's it called, Nintendo Labo, the
Labo, the cardboard stuff. Yep.
Yeah. There's one of the cardboard ones I made with my son was a fishing rod. And it's like, I wonder if Nintendo just lifted it straight off Sega.
They probably did, because Sega probably forgot completely about this thing because probably no one bought
it. We had the Dreamcast. I think it was only out in Australia for like 2 years or something, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It didn't get a long time. All right, then number 9, they've got the Resident Evil chainsaw. Now, I do vaguely recall this as a purchasing option, and I think, was it Resident Evil 4, Steve?
It was Resi 4, and I think it came with like a ultimate collector's edition.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I was working at EB Games at this time, and I remember it coming out. If I wasn't at EB, it was not far away from it. But what a strange controller! Like, can you imagine holding that thing to play the entirety of the game when you don't even use a chainsaw in the game?
It's so bizarre. Such a weird choice for him. And I wonder if I don't know if you can see on the picture there, Steve, they've got white gloves. I wonder if they were required to hold the chainsaw controller.
Yeah, most likely. But what a strange choice of a controller. Like, yeah. Anyway, surely no one actually used it to play the game. If anyone did use that controller to play the game, they're probably serial killers.
Probably. I hope this little above the triangle there, you can see the like the pull start on a lawnmower or whatever. I hope that was a functioning pull start.
It was the only way to get the controller to start working.
So the controller,
you had to fill it up with like unleaded fuel before you could play your game.
You got to get that mix right, or it won't start. It'll stall on you.
That's it.
And then number 8 is the Katana, the Soul controller. It's from Capcom here.
This is the first time I'm seeing this thing, and I don't kind of fathom how it works.
No. I assume it's some sort of motion controlling for a sword game.
It's for PlayStation 2, so I don't think we had motion controllers back then. But Just reading it, releases a collaboration between Capcom and Hori for PlayStation 2. The Katana Soul Controller is made specifically for the game Onimusha 3. It has all the buttons and sticks from a regular PlayStation 2 controller and is shaped like a katana.
Wow.
Complete with a sheath that can be pulled off to reveal a grey plastic blade. I don't remember this thing, but again, who's using this? I don't know. It's got to be just a collector's thing, surely.
It's got to be, but this is the first time I've thought of it, and it could be later, so I hope I'm not stepping on their toes, but it suddenly reminds me of the Wii U.
Oh, a little bit.
A weird controller that nobody ever really wanted to use.
That no one wanted to use. At least that somehow sort of blended into a Switch at some point. So, they got there eventually.
They did. Oh, and now the NES Power Glove. To my knowledge, the only video game controller that has an entire movie based on its suckers.
That's right. What was the movie called?
Oh gosh, it's going to be. I cannot remember. I'm sure it'll be written here.
It's one where he's playing Mario, isn't he? He's playing Mario.
It's called Super Street Brawler, Super Glove Ball, and Bad Street Brawler. Excuse me with the games.
I don't think it mentions the movie, but I know the movie you're talking. I know the movie. I've definitely seen the movie as well, but it's strange that it hasn't mentioned it because it's definitely made an appearance in that.
What's the chance the movie was called NES Power Glove?
It probably was. Oh, it almost came to me. No, dude, go to the next one. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna figure this out.
And then we have an Ascii keyboard controller. I don't even know what console this was for. It's called the 64.
Was it called Wizard?
Of course. It could very well have been called Wizard. The Wizard?
Wizard?
I would accept that.
Oh, that's before I've even checked it, but I'm going with that. So anyway, keep going.
No worries, man. So now we have an Ascii 2 keyboard controller for the Nintendo 64. If you look on the side, you can see it's got the, what's that called? A C-stick, I want to say, the yellow one. C-stick?
Yep. Yeah. C-stick? Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, so it's the Nintendo 64 controller, but with a big old Ascii 2 keyboard right in the middle of it.
And I'm just going to come back. I was completely correct. The movie is called The Wizard.
Hey, The Wizard. Nice one, Steve. Good work.
Oh, good pull.
And now we're looking at number 5 of 10 for them. Samba de Amigo Maracas. I'm going to say I have no Spanish skills, clearly, but it looks like a fantastic game. Just shake your maracas.
Samba de Amigo Maracas. I don't know what these ones are, but it kind of reminds me of, which I don't know if they're on this list, is do you remember the bongos that came with a DK? Was it Donkey Kong Jungle Beat?
Yes. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, well played. Yeah. Perfect.
So, no, definitely. I don't know what these are, but I do remember the Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, and we did sell quite a few of those back in the day as well. God knows how or why, but we did.
They were probably the cheapest MIDI drum you could buy, I would suggest.
They probably were. I'm pretty sure someone's beaten Dark Souls using the DK drums as well.
That's hilarious. I love it. Oh, maracas. I wonder if, probably not. I'm like, gosh, it'd be awesome if Rock Band added maracas on the next release. When it gets added to Fortnite, as we discussed last week.
That's right. Looks like, it seems to be Dreamcast is the common consensus for weird-ass controllers, because that was a Dreamcast controller. So, God, that thing was weird.
It was so short, literally straight. But if memory serves, that was the first home console with an Ethernet port, I believe. Anyway.
Oh, there you go. I'm learning things too.
Next up we have is the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, that is, hands-free controller. Steve, to me it looks like a really basic breath tester.
It actually does. I actually had that same thought. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty sure I used one of these on Friday night. But I've never heard of this controller, hands-free. How does it even work? Do you put it on your brain? Is it like some Demolition Man kind of like sex probe head thing you put on? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Here we go. I'm going to read it. Instead of having to use their hands, the players would strap their controller to their chest and use their mouth to control the D-pad and buttons. I mean, that sounds very good for accessibility if you don't have hands and stuff. Good on for them for being progressive, but who's buying that?
I have no idea, man. It would be interesting to get a lifetime sales number.
Sorry, I went back and read it. The controller was aimed at people who didn't have full use of their hands and couldn't otherwise hold an S controller. So well done, Nintendo. Well done.
Nintendo in what I'm going to go out on a limb and say 1989. Nintendo 1989 beating the Xbox accessibility controller by about 30 years.
Absolutely. I don't know if you read that, but it is actually 1989. It costs around $120. There you go.
Boom. Perfect. Oh, there now. I never purchased one of these, Steve,
God,
but I'm tipping you sold a few of them back in your days at EV.
Oh my God. Yeah, we did. And we had so many returns as well. This thing, I remember this thing was on an E3 stage, didn't they? They had Tony Hawk himself, I'm pretty sure, get on the stage at E3 with this thing.
Yeah, if memory serves, man, the franchise went downhill for a few years. And then this was their big, hey, we're bringing it back. And Tony Hawk was on stage, and then everyone saw what it was and went, yeah, pass.
Yeah, like if you think you couldn't kill something more than it was already dead, this thing did that. So, but Tony Hawk's had a bit of a resurgence recently, obviously with the remake of the original Tony Hawk 1 and 2, thank God, because that's where Tony Hawk was at its best. But this thing, all it did was break ankles and look ugly and got returned and ruined my profit margin. So let's scroll on by. Hold on.
Before we do, Steve, I'm going to ask if you remember selling me, I'm pretty sure I bought it from you, the Tony Hawk's Project 8 Collector's Edition. I still have to this day, it was just an ordinary skateboard deck that it came with. It wasn't a controller. It's a full skateboard deck that I still have. I love it.
Actually, it's weird to think that a lot of the games you probably own, the older ones there, I probably did sell to you. I didn't even think of that.
Yes. I often laugh to myself when I'm going through my old stuff.
I probably sold you that GTA Collector.
I reckon you did.
GTA Collector's Edition that you've got.
Yep. I'm pretty sure you did.
There you go. The world is a strange place.
It sure is. Number 2 controller. It's a Wu-Tang, I'm not even going to attempt the third word, style pad.
Wu-Tang Shaolin style pad. Let me guess. Came out in the Dreamcast? No.
It's got the start and select button. That looks like a knockoff PlayStation controller to me.
It is definitely a PlayStation controller used for 3D fighting games. Again, it's got no thumbsticks, so that's, I mean, a lot of people don't really need thumbsticks for when it comes to their fighting games. They prefer a D-pad anyway. Yeah. But for a good D-pad, so I'm pretty sure a knockoff controller, third-party thing's probably not going to suffice compared to just using a normal controller, really.
Yeah, I would think it looks like the L1 buttons are like way off on the side. I got to imagine that.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't know how that would work, but yeah, God, it looks almost like the bat symbol as well.
It does. I was just thinking that. It could come out as a Arkham Knight controller. They re-released it.
That's definitely re-released that. That sells so many.
All right, then number 1 is the Steel Battalion controller. Oh, my goodness. What almost a full flight deck. Steve, we need this for, I'm blanking on the first game note from tonight. Chorus,
yes.
We should bring it back in for Chorus, surely.
Bloody oath we should, but look how many buttons this thing's got. Like, you almost need to have some kind of special ability just to use the controller itself.
Yeah, that is wild. That is your full, what's that, flight simulator level.
Yeah. I actually do remember selling this. I think it was retailed for like $200, maybe more, and it was, I think, pre-order only, and the boxes they came in were just ridiculously massive. I reckon if you got one, you probably maybe used it once and then kept it as a collector's edition.
Well, I wonder whether it would have a similar trajectory to me. Unless you take the next step and actually get the frame for it, it never reaches its full potential.
Well, that's right. And this thing's just my God, what a contraption it is.
Well, that was the Gamer.com's number 1 weird video game controller. That's not the one I'm thinking to win our standoff tonight, though, Steve. My heart's leaning towards that Nest Glove earlier, but what are you thinking, mate?
I don't know. Like, we've got a few that weren't on this list as well, which I want to bring up. Like, you mentioned the Wii U controller. That's a bit iconic.
Yes.
You got the PlayStation glove as well. Is it Power Glove?
Yeah. No. So I'm just scrolling back up. Yeah, no, scrolling back up. The Nest Power Glove. You're right. The Nest Power Glove was the one with the film with the wizard.
Yep. And then what else did you...
Oh, hold on. On that Nest Power Glove, the one that's not there, but it does remind me of, on the PlayStation 1, they just called it the glove. That was a PlayStation 1 controller, and it's very similar. It was just one wrist strap, but what they did was mechanically tracked the axis of your wrist. So you had three-dimensional movement, but it was moving your wrist in those three dimensions. And I actually used it and learnt to play, what was it, Tekken? I'm blanking on the Tekken number now. It was one of the Tekkens. I want to say Tekken 4, but does that line up with PS1? I got no idea. Whatever Tekken was on the PS1. I'm not sure either. But that's how I learned to play fighting games. And to this day, my head is still broken when I try to play fighting games because I learned to play on a controller that looked a lot like the NES Power Glove.
No, fair. And then I think the other honourable mentions have to be the Kinect for the Xbox.
Yes,
that's got to be on there as well. That died a death that probably needed to die as well. But I mean, it was okay for its time. It sold. It was the gimmicky thing that came. Was it with the Xbox 360?
No, the Xbox One.
Xbox One. That's right. Yeah, and you could play with a tiger and stuff like that. But
I got to say though, Steve, I think all those features are still available on the PlayStation's camera.
With the PlayStation
camera. It's so funny that Xbox was so embarrassed by the Xbox One launch, they just nuked it off the playing field. Meanwhile, PlayStation slowly incorporated every feature that Microsoft got rid of.
Yep.
Bizarre.
I can't, at the top of my head, I can't think of much else really in terms of controller-wise. I mean, the GameCube controller, I still think is a great controller.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo 64 controller, when you look back at it, what a weird controller that thing was.
How do you think we'll view the DualSense looking back on it? I know I'll always think of it as arthritis hands, but what's your take?
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, I chucked Returnal back on today, and just the things that controller does with Returnal is just insane. So, I think we still haven't seen what the potential of that controller can do. I think we're going to look back on that very fondly, and I still think Xbox is still looking at a way they can create an Elite Series controller with sort of some of that functionality. So, I think we'll look back very fondly on that. In terms of this list, though, the win, I'm probably leaning towards, in terms of its iconography and being part of a movie, probably the NES Power Glove.
Okay.
Part of me kind of wants to give it to the Resident Evil chainsaw thing for being so bloody ridiculous.
So ridiculous. Although I agree, that is ridiculous. The katana is also incredibly ridiculous.
What are we ranking on? Are we ranking on most ridiculous or best controller of the worst controllers? How are we ranking this thing?
Well, I think we just stick to the traditional best use of. So best use of controller.
Best use of controller. Listen, I'm gonna tug at the heartstrings. I'm actually gonna give it to number 4, the NES hands-free controller, being so accessibility up front for 1989.
Yeah. 30 years ahead of Microsoft, who
30 years ahead of time. They're looking at people that can't play games, and they want to get them to play games. So good on you, Nintendo. You're going to get my win today.
A winner is you, Nintendo. All right, beautiful work, Steve. Thank you. Now that brings us on, if I can find the button, to the news. There's a news button here somewhere. Really, there is. News! Nope, that's not working beautifully. News. It's an absolute train wreck. But here we go. News story 1. Resident Evil 4 remake, as told to us by IGN, concept art allegedly leaked by, what's that, Wesker voice actor, I'm going to say?
Yes, the Wesker voice actor leaked Resident Evil 4 remake, and which makes me, I'm pretty sure this thing's happening. Like, I think it's been happening for a while. I think they've had such success with Resident Evil, 1 and 2 remake. Oh, sorry, 2 and 3 remake.
Yeah, yep.
1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. They'd be mad not to number 4, one of the most beloved, games in the series. They've just had the VR release of it, which went down really well and reviewed really well, and I've played and can vouch for that.
Yes.
But to do like the Resident Evil RE2 remake and RE3 remake style of Resident Evil 4, this thing's going to be insane. And now I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10%, I think this thing's actually happening now.
Yes, and I wonder, Steve, what I'm wondering really about all this smells a little bit to me like they want to push the game release back by a year, and they've actually released this to try and get some more funding to secure that extra year of development.
Well, yeah, I mean, they tout that this guy's gone rogue about it.
See, I just don't buy that a voice actor would do this.
I don't buy it either. Because it sounds like he hasn't gotten a whole lot of trouble for it.
Yeah, exactly. To me, I think that was an internal conversation of, hey, this is going real good. If we can show a little bit to the public, we'll get enough public support. We'll be able to justify an increase to the budget.
Let's use the guy that's not one of the main characters to do it as well. Like if it was a Leon, or you'd be like, yeah, but no, let's use the guy that plays Wesker.
Yeah. This to me, I think they'll, give it 6 weeks and there'll be a story about how it's been delayed by a year, but given extra funding.
If they didn't want this thing out, I guarantee you this thing would have been pulled faster than we could actually access it today to still see it. So if they didn't want it out, you would not be able to find these images now.
Correct. This to me has all the hallmarks of, hey, we think we're building something that the audience is going to love, and we just need to do a little test weather balloon and see whether we're on target or not. Which I think was successful. It's I've only heard people respond to this positively. The actual content of the image, I'm saying.
And then the fact that Resident Evil 8 came out, the Village came out this year, and it's in contention for Game of the Year. Like Resident Evil's sort of riding the highs at the moment. I think RE Remake 3 didn't quite hit the heights of number 2, even though I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, but I still think that RE engine is still one of the best, if not the best, graphics engine going around at the moment.
Oh, that's a big call. I'd have to go back and look at it. I can't recall it immediately.
It is a very pretty engine, and just the fact they can do that stuff. I think even was that Monster Hunter Rise recently used that same engine for on the Nintendo Switch as well. To get that game running beautifully and looking beautifully on a Switch. So I think you put that into Resident Evil 4, I think you're going to see a ridiculously good-looking game, and if they can sort of get the balance right and not sort of destroy too much what made Resident Evil 4 great, I think this is going to be an absolutely awesome remake.
Yeah, I can't wait. Big fan. So, hopefully, as I said, I expect now we're going to news of a delay shortly, but I think it's shaping up. Got to be a good thing. News story 2. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection has been ESRB rated, suggesting the release is soon. Indeed, that should be. Are they the first ratings board, the Americans rating board, to release it? Usually it's Americans are the last to release it.
It is. Yeah, I know. It's true. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm excited. I just chucked this story in there because, I love Uncharted. It's probably, if not my favourite franchise going around.
Yes.
But, I mean, I think the fact that it's been rated, you got the movie coming out early next year. I think you'll definitely see this game very early, like January, possibly February next year, and I will be buying it day one. There's not a question in my mind that I want to play Uncharted 4 in 60 frames per second with 4K HDR. There's literally not a question in my mind that I will be playing that. Like Last of Us Part 2 has already got the 60 frames 4K mode, and that thing looks ridiculous. But just being able to play Uncharted in that mode, I can't wait. And even Lost Legacy, what a game! Like the fact that you think you like Uncharted just for Nathan Drake, but then the fact
I have never played the Lost Legacy.
What?
I own it.
No!
I own it. I've done the install on the channel, and I've never played the Lost Legacy.
Right, my God. Okay, well, maybe just wait for the new one. But Lost Legacy, is such a good Uncharted game. It's ridiculous how good this game is. It's got Chloe and Nadine in it. The chemistry between those two is just ridiculous. It sort of holds the still chemistry. It's almost as good a chemistry as you got between Nate and Sully.
Right.
The stuff they managed to do with that game, considering it's not one of your main protagonists and not, chauvinist, be like, I don't want to play as a female Drake and all that kind of stuff. But no, the game itself is just really good, and the things they do with the open world sort of structure or semi-open world structure they do with that and the puzzle solving and stuff is such a good game. I'm really excited to play it again. So I think sort of the new year and stuff, I think it's going to be the perfect game to play. So during these summer months and stuff, rollicking along tropical islands. And
will I be able to boot straight into the Lost Legacy, do you think, or is there value in replaying the other games before it? Does it tie back in? Should I have a refresh?
Oh, no, they mentioned stuff, but no, it is strictly a standalone game. You do not need to play any other Uncharted. You can play Lost Legacy standalone. And, to be honest, I love all the Uncharted, but Lost Legacy is very high on my list of one of the best Uncharted games going around. So, again, I don't use photo modes a lot as well, but the Lost Legacy is one of those ones that I was busting out that photo mode very regularly just to get some sweet shots. I can't wait for the Nathan Drake collection.
The Lost Legacy of Thieves collection, I believe you mean.
Lost Legacy, that's correct, yes.
The Lost Legacy campaign, Steve, how many hours-ish to complete?
That's probably a solid 8 to 12 maybe, depending on sort of what you're looking for. So it's a decent sized campaign. It's not like as long as Uncharted 4, which just sort of goes forever. In a good way. Some people didn't like the length of Uncharted 4. I completely just those people can get stuff because as long as Uncharted, I'm happy if that game never finished.
But I loved Uncharted 4.
I can't wait to play that again in 4K 60. But no, definitely play Lost Legacy, mate. It's one of the best Uncharted games going around.
Perfect. I shall do that, but I think you're right. I'll wait until it appears early next year for that PS5 goodness. Next up in the news, Battlefield franchise undergoes major shakeup. I'll even read the subhead. EA announces a restructuring of its development teams as it looks to grow Battlefield.
What do you think of this? Like you've been playing a lot of Battlefield. Like, do you think it needs a bit of a shake-up in that as well?
It doesn't need a shake-up. It just needs a firmer hand. To me, it is the product of no singular vision. Is what that game suffers from. Like there doesn't appear to be one like just the player experience from Go to Woe hasn't been tended to. Like individual instances make sense. Like, did we put in a scoreboard? Well, we can tick that box as a scoreboard there. It's like, but your implementation is so terrible that no one will ever see it. Like person is missing that voice of reason to rope it into an actual cohesive product. Just it never took place in Battlefield 2042. So if they're saying a Battlefield franchise major shakeup, if they're going to come back and appoint one person to be like director of player experience and go through and just overhaul the menu structure layout of Battlefield 2042, that'd be on such a winner. But you can see the way the game's been built from day one, the way that the portal integrates all the old Battlefields and all the old maps and everything. They really did build it to support like the next 10 years of Battlefield. They don't need to release another game. They can just do the annual update to that base 2042, assuming they can surface the progression and stuff and make it more transparent there. But they have a great foundation for the next 10 years. So I don't think like they're saying, I hope they're not saying they need to throw out Battlefield 2042. There's so much of it's already there. They just need to finish it off essentially. So hopefully they're just talking about finishing off 2042, not shelving it and focusing on next year's release.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it looks like, reading through the article, it sounds like they probably want to go back to some kind of narrative structure as well with a campaign as well, because you look at it's got the Halo designer, like Marcus Leto is apparently building a development team in Seattle. And obviously he's the one that created Master Chief in the first place.
So, isn't oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name, Frank Sampella? Isn't he now? Hasn't he been promoted up?
Yeah,
I believe he's overseeing it. So he created Call of Duty. He created Titanfall, and now they've brought him in to clean up Battlefield. I think that's right. His records speak for itself. Like it should. Yeah. Great things can happen.
I was going to say, so you've got him, and then you've got this Leto who's created the Master Chief, and who's the main character of one of the biggest franchises when it comes to first-person shooters ever.
Yes,
create a new studio to sort of work on the Battlefield series. So I think you're probably going to see Battlefield maybe sort of go back into the single player. Obviously, it's always going to have its multiplayer, but they're going to have to probably add a campaign, or they're looking at ways they can sort of add a campaign, whether that comes in this game and they attach it to this, or whether it's a new Battlefield game altogether. I don't know. But I'm excited for that.
I hope they plug whatever their solution is into the Battlefield 2042 framework that is there.
Agreed.
That'd be great. But like that guy knows it's Frank Zampella, I'm saying. Call of Duty, Titanfall, like that dude knows how to do multiplayer. And if you've got like the lineage of Halo single player stuff as well, like assuming the team is in harmony, this could be a fantastic result.
Absolutely. So it's only up for Battlefield. So I'm hoping, they've had a rocky start with Battlefield 2042, and obviously with Halo sort of coming out sort of before it was supposed to, sort of, stealing their thunder a little bit.
Yes.
And now with the campaign about to drop as well, the fact they've got a campaign, regardless of whether the fact it's got, co-op or not, the fact they've got a full campaign in there as well, Battlefield's probably going to be seen on the outer a little bit, and the fact that you've been able to sort of tell with it, Call of Duty's campaign is quite good, and their multiplayer is starting to enjoy it as well. I think Battlefield's probably maybe sitting at number 3 out of those games as well. So
yeah,
they're going to need to do something to shake it up. So at least it sounds like they know that. So and moving forward, hopefully going to fix it.
What would be a fantastic result is if, Q1, Q2 next year, they've put in some single-player components to Battlefield. Maybe they start to introduce that stuff.
Oh, I hope so. Because that would probably what will get me in. Because at the moment, I no reason to play Battlefield pretty much at all. Just with Halo multiplayer being what it is, I don't own Call of Duty. So so I need something to sort of bring me into the Battlefield. Maybe if there's a decent sort of campaign that gets me into the gameplay of Battlefield, I'll finish that and I'll be like, I want more Battlefield, and I'll start playing the multiplayer. But at the moment, being just that multiplayer offering and the fact that it's been known for its bugs and not running so well, and the wait times to get into a game and stuff are quite extensive. It doesn't appeal to me at all. So I'm not sure how much that's affecting other people's decisions in playing the game, but it's definitely affecting mine. So
yeah, that's a fair point, man. That is a fair point. The thing I'll say about it, the thing I love about Battlefield is similar to the thing I love about the Soulsborne games, in that, and a lot of people use this as a knock on Battlefield. I kind of really respect it in that it's the risk reward. In Battlefield, it's so easy to be taken out from a headshot. It always feels like there's a wager on the line. It always feels like you're gambling in Battlefield the same way it feels in Demon Souls. Like, you never want to lose your souls. It's got that. Instead of losing souls, obviously, the punishment in Battlefield is being kicked back to the respawn screen. But I really appreciate the way they do it. But if that doesn't light you up, I can appreciate that there is nothing in this year's Battlefield that offers it. Like, that's the Battlefield unique edge. It's that sense of gambling due to the high price of dying, which isn't like Call of Duty and Halo. It's like you're dead, you're almost instantly straight back into the, and you're in a gun battle again within 10 seconds almost, whereas that is not the case for Battlefield, which is the draw to me. But, if that doesn't fill your boots, I can see it's not for you. All right, next up we have Halo's subreddit temporarily shut down because angry gamers won't stop being toxic, apparently.
Oh, God, I touched on this earlier. People just need to stop being keyboard warriors, seriously. Like, as I said, the game's in beta. It came out, 4 weeks early, and people are complaining there's not enough things to do. Like, the battle pass is slow. They've already implemented changes to increase the battle pass, XP that you get from games and stuff. So the first 7 games you get.
No, go, man. You nailed it. Yep, first 7 games.
I was going to say, so the first 7 games you get, you sort of get extra XP, you get 300 XP or something for the first game, whatever. So a lot of people, if you're not just a full-on gamer, that's all you're doing, and you might only have 7 games in you for the day as it is, with all these other games that you're playing as well, or, just living life. Like, for me, that if I can rank up 1 level in that battle pass in 7 games and then I'm done for the day, I'm happy with that. All you're really unlocking is cosmetics and stuff anyway. But realistically, if the game's fun to play and you're playing it, and it's 4 weeks early, and you probably wouldn't be playing this game anyway in the first place. But they're going to add things in the future anyway. These things are coming. Like, why jump on a keyboard, get on Reddit, and start abusing people or start abusing 343 Studios when they've got a really good game here, and they're giving it to you? It seems like I just think people shut up. Really,
what's the chance, Steve, that this is a bit of actually Sony fanboys pretending to be Halo players?
Well, yeah, I mean, it could well be. I mean, they know they've got a good game. Sony's struggling for it.
Yeah,
they don't really. They've got a lot of very good single player, third-person action games. But where does Sony land on actually having a good competitive, multiplayer game? I don't think they've got one that's exclusive to their console. The last I can remember that I actually enjoyed playing was probably Killzone 3. Maybe that was.
Wasn't there a Killzone at launch on the PlayStation 4, and I'm blanking on the name? Killzone something, Insurgents or something?
Yeah, but even that I don't think was great in terms of its multiplayer.
Oh gosh, I can't even remember if there was multiplayer in that now.
There probably was, but I mean, they just don't have a big one, and I think that's where Microsoft's currently winning. Well, biggest flagship titles coming out. They've got a massive campaign coming out that looks like it's reviewing quite well so far, and the multiplayer itself even being in beta stage, really, 10 maps, the fact that you can only do quick game, like it's still got a more complete multiplayer, and like the way it runs is better than a lot of multiplayers that are coming out, Battlefield included, in its beta stage, and the game's not even out yet. So they've already said by the end of this year they're going to have these modes that I was talking about earlier, with you being able to select Team Slayer, and they've got what was it, SWAT and stuff coming out by the end of the year. That's their plan. If it doesn't come out December 8, who cares? You're playing the campaign. If it's out before, next year, then you've still got all these modes to play. I don't know what people are getting up in arms about.
Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. Because we're Xbox gamers, we know they gave it to us for free, and they gave it to us weeks early. Like, we're never going to go online and complain. It doesn't make any sense. So, to me, the only logical people that would be complaining are people who can't be playing it, which would be your Sony fanboys.
That's right. I mean, and people are saying that cheaters are starting to come into, because of the free play model. Obviously, you get a lot of PC hackers in there now with their cheaters and stuff coming through, and the fact that it's free to play, it's kind of.
Have you encountered any cheaters yourself?
I don't. It's hard to say. There's games.
I think there's no doubt when you're definitely in a room with someone with the hacks on you. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I reckon there's games where I'm like, there's no way that guy could have got me from there, or there's no way we're getting defeated by this much. And you look and you're playing against PC players, you get a bit iffy about it. You shouldn't have to. It should be like, and the fact there's no easy way to report people at the moment as well, and the fact that it is free to play. If they get reported through the long-winded way that you have to do it, they just create a new account. It's free. Like, they don't have to pay for the game again. So it does kind of promote that. And that's the problem with free to play. But hopefully, sort of, as the game goes on, and as I said, it's only in beta. The game's not even out yet. As this stuff moves on, they'll work out their cheat stuff, and they'll sort of wean those people out. And, the gameplay experience will only improve from now.
I guess the best hope that the Halo subreddit has is for Sony to announce some good news, so all those people are busy off on the Sony forums talking things up.
Well, that's right. Let's hope so. I mean, we've got Game Awards a day after Halo releases, so let's hope Sony brings the heat with that, and we'll get them talking about it. So.
Yeah,
only can celebrate what it's doing at the moment. It can actually get on there.
Exactly.
Give positive feedback to 343 Studios, or
I can't imagine there's any legitimate gripes about it. It's such a good experience. Anyway, the final news story this week: Fortnite Chapter 3 has been revealed. There's a Spider-Man and a new island and more. Steve, have you had a chance at all to check it out?
I popped in just briefly tonight just to see and open up with a cutscene where it had my player. I don't know whether it was pre-picked, but it was John Wick was my player, but I had Batman in my actual character list, so I don't know why it was John Wick, whether that was a plan thing, I don't know, but he rides on an island, and you've got the Rock's character, who is also revealed as in Fortnite this season.
Yes.
As the main character from last season.
It's funny that when he puts his...
which, of course, he is, because the Rock's in bloody everything.
He doesn't sound like the Rock anymore. It's weird.
He doesn't.
It's almost as though they paid him the bare minimum for the minimum amount of lines.
That's probably true. They're probably like, let's get a guy that sounds just like the Rock when we put the mask on. But but what annoys me here, right, is that Spider-Man is tied to the Battle Pass, so you can't just go and purchase him. You do have to purchase the Battle Pass and then level it up to almost one of the final tiers to get Spider-Man, and then I think beyond whatever it is towards the end, you can unlock the black suit Spider-Man as well. So I'm like, I'm never going to play this much to get Spider-Man, and like some people. Your whales out there might just pay for the level tiers just to get to him, which is, I think,
that's true.
Probably. I mean, it's smart by them. They're going to make money because people are going to spend it just to get, one of the most favorite Marvel characters going around. But I prefer just be able to jump in that store, spend my 1,000 credits, and get Spider-Man. But it's business.
It is now. I'm going to roll a bit of footage under us, Steve, because earlier today, as you can see here, I got Colin to check it out. Fortnite, the new season, that is. And so what you've got here is Colin with a little bit of an after-school special. He's come in his first game of the new season. He racked up, I want to say it was 5 or 6 kills in the end. And it was just a beautiful display, mate. It was...
where'd he come in the end?
We'll just let the footage play. We've got the end. We've got the end of the match. It's coming up. But I got to say, man, it's looking great.
I just read the doc. Spoilers alert.
It's great, man. The new map looks cool. I couldn't see that many new features other than this is the slide move, as you saw that bloke sliding down the hill.
Yeah, I did hear about
pulled that straight out of Apex.
What's the first person shooter? What's that?
Oh, hold on. Listen to this. Oh, it's muted. Dang it, it's not playing the audio. That's unfortunate. But as you can see there, Colin, first game, first season, solos, victory royale off the bat.
Well, look at him go. And he's playing. That's pretty good. Like, I mean, I did have one solo match last season. I did get a victory as well, but I'm 38 years old. This kid, I mean, actually, no, come to think of it, it's probably a better win for me getting one because, my old man hands and this kid's like, how old's Colin?
8. He's 8.
He's 8. Okay, so he's got reflexes, up the wazoo at the moment compared to someone like me. So, you know what, Colin, sorry, buddy, my win last season was better than this one. I'm calling it.
Perfect. I love it. All right. Well, thank you, Colin, for that reporter in the field. But now we have Game Informer once again with the new releases coming out this week. Sorry,
can I just budge in and just say, holy crap, that kid's got a Ninja Turtles t-shirt and it's freaking amazing.
Yes. Big Ninja Turtles fans in this house. Top of the list.
New releases.
Final Fantasy, quick Roman numeral math. What's that? 14, Endwalker.
14. It's an expansion to 14. Apparently,
now,
Final Fantasy 14. Very, very good. It is, yeah. So apparently, people love the hell out of this game and think it's one of the best things in sliced bread. But never played it myself.
I played it when it first launched. Now, this was years ago. I want to say this was maybe, 17? It was back many years ago, and it launched, and it was a completely different game, and it was horrible, which is when I played it. And then I believe it actually went offline for a few months, and then they fully rebooted it, and then it's the game that everyone loves. So I played it when it first came out that was pretty rubbish and have never been back to the well. But I'm glad they turned the ship around.
There you go. Turn the ship around. It's out December 7 this year. Very soon. That's very good. So tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yes. Tomorrow.
A few hours away. Next up, Gang Beasts coming to Switch. That is an enjoyable game, currently part of Game Pass. If you've got Game Pass, you can check it out for free there. Good one to play with the kids as well. I played that one. It's a party. Yeah. It's, think Mario Party. It's similar. Cool. Mini game sort of stuff. Bit of fun for the kids. Then next up, Heavenly Bodies, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC. I know nothing about it. Looks like astronauts on the cover.
No, nothing as well.
Perfect. Then I know you know this one, Steve. Life is Strange, True Colors, coming to the Switch. I believe that was a launch earlier this year for PlayStation 5 and Series X.
I do know that one. Did finish on the Series X. I'm not sure how well it's going to run on the Switch, considering it didn't even hit 60 and the 30 frames per second was slightly jagged. Didn't really take away from the experience I had with the game because I actually really loved the game. If you love story-based narrative games, story of this thing was awesome. This game probably is in my top 10 for the year as well.
Nice.
If you want to take it portable, get it on the Switch. But if you've got an Xbox or PlayStation, probably play it on that because I don't see it running too well on the old Nintendo system.
Curveball without notice, and the same question I ask every week: do we know if this one's a Game Pass?
It's no.
I've never played a Life is Strange. As I understand it, walking simulator, though.
It is pretty much a walking simulator. Very good story, though. Very compelling. It does some really cool things with RPG mechanics in Chapter 3, which I won't spoil, but definitely worth a play if you don't mind something slower paced.
Yeah, cool. Then we have Spellforce 3 Reforced. That does not sound appropriate on a video game title.
It does not sound appropriate, but I'm sure Spellforce 1 and 2 Reforced were great.
Well, is it like a reboot? Like, are they using that as the remaster name?
I think so. Yeah, possibly, but I've never heard of Spellforce before.
No.
I hang my hat on being a bit of a geek and a nerd, but I've never heard of Spellforce, let alone 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And the fact that it's got a reforced version of it, crazy.
Someone will get hold of us and send us, I'm sure, a litany of information about the long-running series, but news to us. Then we have White Shadows on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC.
That's it looks very
Limbo-esque, I want to say.
Limbo meets Lemmings is what I could probably call it, going by the YouTube video I watched a bit earlier today. So
Nice.
yeah, a bit of a noir setting.
Yeah, nice. And then we've just discussed Halo Infinite, and they've scored it on Game Informer, a 9.25, decent score.
Not a bad score for Halo Infinite. Yeah, it's a new title. I don't know. It should do okay.
We'll have to check it out on the channel at some point, Steve.
We will. Yeah.
Then we have Loop Hero coming to Switch. Looks very indie, but I know nothing.
I don't know nothing, but all I do know is that Loop Hero text looks very similar to Guitar Hero.
Oh, that's a great point you've made. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. I wonder if LPs, I'm thinking the only thing that's shaped circular. I don't know. Loop Hero, is it DJ Hero?
I know nothing about it. We've got 8.5 from Game Informer.
Whoa!
Too bad.
And it's on the Switch. Look out. What's next? Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX coming to Switch, PC, and iOS.
I know nothing about Monster Rancher.
No. That sounds and looks to me like something you'd come across in Roblox, to be honest.
It looks like something would be on a phone. Oh, wait, it's also coming out on iOS. What a surprise.
Oh, yes. And being that it's not on Android, I wonder if it's already there. It looks so bad. Anyway, I shouldn't lay into it. The last one is, I'm guessing, Witchwood? Witchwood, indeed. PlayStation 5, Series XS, 4, Xbox One, PC, Switch. It's coming out everywhere on the 9th.
Oh, on the 9th, mate. That might get me to stop playing Halo, maybe.
And do we know anything about Witchwood?
I got no idea.
Perfect.
No idea whatsoever.
Well, that will do it for Game Informer, releases for next week. So that brings us to, if we have any, Steve, I need your assistance, mate. How are we looking in the YouTube chat land? Do we have any?
We do. We got Sean Games. He's popped.
Hello, Sean Games. How you doing, buddy?
G'day, Sean. He's got a few questions. First of all, he says, "What is that picture, Troy?" You want to explain, Troy, that tonight we're a bit under the weather in terms of weather itself.
The studio's running hot, and if I had have tried to keep the lights on, the stream couldn't have gone for more than 20 minutes before the computer would have blue screened to death on me. So it was just an overly hot studio. I'm sorry. No camera this evening. So it's just a horrible photo of me that I felt fitted in beautifully with the aesthetics.
Awesome, man. What else? Steve, have you got your sun green shorts yet? Lol, mate, be a bit quiet about that. Christmas is coming up.
No spoilers.
No spoilers in his future. He also says, and the game of the week is Halo. Absolutely.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Oh, yes.
Halo is Spellforce, or what is Spellforce? Yep, mate, I'm with you there. I don't know what Spellforce. That being said, the current Pokemons aren't getting the best reviews. To be honest, I've actually never really been a Pokemon fan. So
no, but I can tell you, my son just got into it in the this past week at school. He came home with his first, "Hey, Dad, look, a Pokemon card." Oh.
Yeah, they got Pokemon cards at my kids' school as well. They seem to be. They open them up. They sort of don't really know what's going on. They get excited about it, but I don't think they even know what they're getting excited about, to be honest. But yeah. Anyway, my son gets more excited about Elf on the Shelf, which I've got to set up in about 5 minutes' time. So,
Elf on the Shelf, is that a new game that's hot out for Christmas?
It's not. No, it's real life thing. You got to actually put an elf and make him do stupid things. But I do pride myself on him, Troy. I will show you my videos. I do film of my Elf on the Shelf. When I see you next day, I'm not going to not touting myself as a good Elf on the Shelf guy, but I'm probably the best around. So,
oh, look out! I love it. Good work, Steve. And so for you, mate, your eyes on the horizon, just looking at Halo Infinite. That's your big week ahead.
Yeah, I think this week's going to be pretty heavily weighted in the way of Halo. I might still dabble in some Chorus because I am really enjoying that game. And I'd be lying if I said I'd wasn't going to play Halo an absolute shitload this week on my brand new spanking 77-inch LG
Oh my
TV.
goodness! You've got the monitor. It's in. It's installed now.
It's installed.
The first thought, mate, is this a high recommended purchase for others?
Oh well, if you can afford it, yes. They don't come cheap. They're around, $8K is on sale. Good, Black Friday for maybe 7.2-ish, but they're definitely worth the purchase if you've got the money. This thing looks absolutely sublime. I've got myself and Troy up there at the moment, looking huge. But just loading a bit of Halo, and I've set my console now to 120 hertz as well. And
have you checked out anything in 120? Is your jaw on the floor, or how does it look?
Nothing's running in 120 because I think multi's 60 frames per second for Halo. I think the campaign will run 120 at. I don't think it's doing 4K. Reading an article I read the other day, I think it's doing 4K 60 or was the 2100p or whatever it is. 4K, 120 frames.
Yep.
So I'll probably run it at 60 with the standard 4K, but I will give it a go. Forza looks incredible on this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
So no, just staring at it now, I'm just in absolute awe of the size and quality of this thing at the moment. So
that's awesome.
Flush out, but it's not a cheap TV. It's really what that means.
And when the Returnal DLC gets announced, and it's revealed I was correct last week.
Yes.
Is it going to be easy to get it back off your wall and into the studio? Or?
I'm happy to hear you remembered that. That's not the easiest thing to get off, but we'll make it work. We can make it work, I think. Definitely. But the first, if you want to, Troy, if you want to tell everyone what the first game I actually played on this TV was that I said you earlier, out of all the games I could have played.
I love it. You tell them though, man. It's perfect.
Okay, so the first game I loaded up on this thing was Lawnmower Simulator.
Perfect. The 120 frames a second of lawn clippings.
It wasn't even. I reckon it was not even running at 60 frames. But the grass looks good. This game was actually. This should have been at the front of the show, but the game was actually very complicated. You've got to adjust. It kept telling me that my cutters were at the wrong height for the grass, and if I don't adjust it, then my lawnmower was going to explode. This is too much pressure. I just want to cut some lawn and chill out. This is too much pressure. So I bounced and went back to Halo. But no, it was definitely some good fun and. I'm a bit spoiled.
Yes, I might have to just check out the steering wheel, I think, and Lawnmower Simulator. I assume that was Game Pass?
Yes, it's Game Pass. So, yes, that's the main, caveat from this is that you don't have to pay any money to mow lawns digitally. You can get it free on Xbox Game Pass.
Perfect. Oh, and from Sean Games in the chat. Sean, thank you for reminding us. Of course, the Game of the Year Awards. What are they called? Game of the Year? No, the Jeff Keighley's. What are they called? The Keighley's?
Game Awards?
The Video Game Awards. What's the official name?
It's the Game Awards. The Game Awards.
The Game Awards this week. It's the 7th, I believe, in America, so the 8th for us, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. No, I thought it was the 9th. So probably the 10th for us. I thought it was a day after Halo.
Oh, you're right. You're completely correct. I've confused myself. Yep, that's perfect. Yes, so thank you very much, Sean. Of course, everyone be on the lookout for Game of the Year Awards. And of course...
That's right. So I reckon
the misspelled Returnal.
Next, they have called Deathloop. But I think guarantee you next Monday night we'll be talking all things Game Awards and Halo, I would imagine. So I think we'll see a few new things showing up at the Game Awards, and I'll be telling you all about my experience with Halo campaign.
Fantastic. The question will be, my number one question, Steve, will be, do I need to play it immediately or should I wait for the co-op next year?
Mate, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to play it immediately. I don't even need to wait till I've played it. You just have to play it.
All right, then. I will accept that challenge. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching the Gaming Enforcement Agencies every Monday night, 8 p.m.ish, right here, youtube.com/Geek Aloud. Steve, mate, great effort tonight, buddy. Thank you very much for your help.
No worries, mate. Anytime.
Fantastic. What else can you do with Geek Aloud? You can like it, you can subscribe it, and then you'll never miss it. Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's not it.
Fire splash!
Old Uncle Donkey.
Donkey.